Yo, this is Slaine and you're watching Montreality. Healthy habit?
Yeah, anything.
Jerk off, man. It's healthy to jerk off. You know, your head is never quite as clear as right after you bust a nut. So like before you buy a car, anything, before you make a decision, before you decide if you're really gonna marry this bitch or not or something, go fucking jerk off and see how you feel for the 10 minutes after you jerk off. That's the most clear you'll ever think. In the classroom, what kind of student was I? Well, that depends. Before I started doing drugs, I was a much better student than after I started doing drugs. But I was a pretty good English student. I was always good with like the simple math early on. But then once, you know, algebra came around, I wasn't very good at that. I was always slick with writing papers and all that. I wasn't really a diligent student because I was always, you know, trying to have fun and shit. But, you know, I was naturally smart. My first job, I worked at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston when I was 14, washing dishes. After that, you know, I worked everything you can imagine, really. But, you know, like I worked Red Shirts in Boston, which is a summertime job to keep kids off the street, where you're basically cleaning the streets up and shit like that. Let's see, what else? As a bartender when I got older. Construction, mailroom, shit like that. Shit, man, when I got my first big paycheck, I fucking was so far in debt that I had to spend it on, you know, get myself out of a little debt. But, you know, I've never, like, purchased anything crazy big. I'm just more of a daily spender type of dude with my spending habits. That, you know, like, spending money on doing shit and having a good time. That's just kind of my MO. You know what I do, but I don't get a chance to read books a lot. I've always read newspapers and magazines a lot more because it's content that I can finish in one sitting. You know, I find like I get really busy, and so if I sit down to read a book, if I don't finish it, like, you know, I'll read on plane rides because, you know, if we're flying a long way, then I'll know that I can knock a book out in 15 hours of flights or whatever. But for the most part, I don't read as often as I'd like to. In a previous lifetime, man, you got some crazy questions here. Probably a shock. Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I loved Woody Woodpecker. I love Tom and Jerry together. That's probably my favorite cartoon still to this day because it's just so clever and funny, man, and it's that slapstick sense of humor, and it's the first cartoon that I could watch with my son that we both like equally as much, so we laugh at the same shit and all that, so I like Tom and Jerry. Super Mario Brothers and Zelda were my two joints. You know, I always like the sports video games too. The, you know, NHL. You know, I used to play Nintendo. It was a while back, so I had like the fat fucking hockey player, the skinny dude who's fast, and you could take a slap shot with the fat dude in front of the net and score every time. Beat the computer like 100-2. Yeah, I got a solo album called The King of Everything Else, which is pretty much done. I'm not sure exactly when it's gonna come out. That's always determined, like with other business and, you know, whether I'm shooting a movie or doing a TV show or something like that. Kind of, that hinges on that. Supreme Villain is a project I'm doing with MADCHILD. We started recording in January, and, you know, we're about to start recording some more stuff. We're gonna take our time with it, and you know, we're kind of building buzz for that with this tour right now, and that should come out like mid-2014, I think. Nas. That's why I want to work with Nas. I still holding out hope one day. I've never met him though, so we'll see. Bill and Vinny, I know, are doing a Heavy Metal Kings album right now. Bill's doing a tour for a solo album for the Grammy Awards. I'm doing this stuff, but, you know, that's fam, and we're gonna reconnect and do that. I don't have a timetable on it yet. No, I think he's doing his solo stuff, man. But I think like he has such a you know, he has heavy responsibilities at home, and you know, it's difficult. It takes a lot of time to do a project and a group and all that, man. So I think like he just honestly couldn't keep the commitment to the project that is required to do a group, and you know, he has and you know, he has to take care of his family, which everyone has to make their decisions with that. So, but we still got mad love for him. I didn't even know him until 2006. No, but I was a fan of Everlast. I thought Everlast is the only one who ever really beat Eminem in a battle, honestly, to me. And I thought that as a fan before I knew Everlast. But I mean, Eminem slayed everybody, dude, when he'd come out with these tracks. Like, he was ruthless with it, right? But I felt like Everlast really, you know, got under his skin with that. So two great MCs, obviously. I didn't even hear this from Everlast. I was in LA and I saw Scoop DeVille and we were kicking it, and he played me some shit like off Busta Rhymes' record or whatever. That's like where he flipped the jump around sample a different way, and it's Eminem, Busta, fucking Everlast, and a few other cats on it. But yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. I don't know. He just played it to me. He's, you know, he's popping right now. He's a good kid. That was the first time I met him, and he was like, "Yo, check this out." You know, we were at the Rainbow Room in LA, and he fucking played it. But I mean, yo, these dudes black out on it. It's crazy. It's a crazy joint. You know, he's a hero of mine, man. Like, I always looked up to him. I loved all his work, everything he's ever done. And it was cool to be in a movie with him. I just wish I could have worked directly with him. And, you know, I was kind of holding out hope that I would someday soon. And, you know, I got to kick it with him the night of the Killing Them Softly premiere. And he was just a great dude, man. So I was obviously very sad to see that he had passed away. He was a good guy. Say your prayers. Here we go. Here we go. Well, one day we were shooting the town, and and like they put your clothes in the trailer when your costume is there when you get there in the morning. It was a particularly cold morning this one morning. They were shooting, so I get there and there's a fucking spandex suit to put on underneath my clothes. So I was like, ah, fuck. So I'm, you know, I'm a big guy. I'm not built like Affleck and Renner. So I got the fucking thing on like this. I'm like, god damn, I never wore a spandex suit. This shit was mad uncomfortable. So I'm walking up the set. He's like, why are you fucking walking like that, man? What's the matter with you? I was like, did they put those spandex suits inside of your trailer too? And him and Renner are standing there waiting for that. Yeah, we got the spandex suits on. Why? What's the matter? I was like, just put it this way, man. I don't think I'm gonna be auditioning for Spider-Man anytime soon. My last meal, man, I think it has to be clam chowder, prime rib with a lobster tail, mashed potatoes, corn on the cob, some creme brulee for dessert. How's that? Don't do anything crazy before you're like 25 years old, because that's like the most dangerous time when you're 16 to 25. You don't realize how long life is, and you know the ramifications of your actions. Like when you start doing crazy shit, like you're really fucking up your future. You know, you gotta fucking weigh what you do and realize like you're gonna have to deal with the consequences to your actions for a long fucking time. And that's not a pretty thing a lot of times, man, when you see people who just got caught up in the game and they're like fucking have nothing. So think about that before you go fucking, you know, sticking your dick in the wrong bitch. Or shooting somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was working as a doorman at this bar I used to go to, and this kid came in. And he was like, he used to try to come in, and he wasn't like old enough and shit. I was like, my man, you're only like fucking 16 years old, I can't let you in. And he was like, just real like out there wild, like, and then he would be getting in beefs in the street and shit. And I was like, you know, I used to talk to him a little bit here and there. I was like, dude, you gotta slow your roll, man. You're gonna fucking, you know, you can't be acting this rash because you're gonna fuck your shit up. And then I saw in the paper a week later, fucking, he had shot some kid, like, right after I fucking talked to him, he shot him in the fucking chest. The kid died, and fucking, he's gonna be in jail probably for, he's still in there now, and that was a long time ago, so. You gotta fucking, you know, weigh the consequences, like beef, a lot of the shit that kids argue about, that I used to fucking beef about when I was a kid, like it's really not worth going to jail for or losing your life over, you know? And as you get older and you see like how fucking stupid some of the shit you did was, it's scary. You know, like fucking, I was lucky to escape some of my fucking dumb decisions, but you know, most people don't escape those when you make enough fucking really poor choices. And you know, you can always have hope that shit's gonna get better, but if you fucking react too crazy to something that's going on right now that really isn't that big of a deal, a year from now you won't care about that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or a year from now, like, you know, 5 years from now, when you're risking your fucking freedom for fucking $500 or $1,000, which is bullshit, is nothing. It's, you know, or even $5 grand is not fucking enough to risk your life to go to jail for 20 fucking years. You know, it's just, you know, you don't. Everything seems so fucking imminent. I think when you're a kid, that you want to fucking, you do anything to get past the situation or to get this money right now. All you need to do is get this or that. And nah, man, that's the shit. That's where you can really fuck yourself up. So, you know, jerk off before you make that decision.